In this video, you're going to watch me make a mince and rice stuffed capsicum and a gnocchi in butter, garlic, lemon, and saffron. Hey guys, so I'm back in the kitchen after 2 days. I was down with a severe stomach bug and I'm still on khichdi, but I gotta cook for the family. So I've decided to make a little bit of gnocchi, kale salad. I'm gonna make a beef mince and I'm going to come up with something with chicken. I was thinking of balsamic chicken, but I've shown you that so many times. It is amazing though. If you haven't made the balsamic chicken, you got to make it today. I've already made a gnocchi a few times. If you want to find this recipe, you're going to have to scroll down my page on Instagram. And if you don't know much about gnocchi, let me just tell you, it's a kind of pasta with potatoes and flour. So I boiled some potatoes here. I'm going to mash it. I'm going to add some flour, eggs, and the deal, and roll it out, cut it into small pieces, boil it, and prepare a sauce for it. So today I was thinking of going with a butter garlic sauce. Butter garlic sauce goes very well with sage. I don't have that today, so I also don't have fresh basil today. Surprise, surprise. So I'm just going to use some dried herbs. If you don't have stuff at home, you just have to reinvent the recipe or use a dried version of that. This interesting thing to mash the potatoes. Mom got it for me. So I press that down and comes out the other way. I don't have that much strength in my hands or arms. But there you go. Set the potatoes aside. I'm going to be making a kale salad. For that I've used olive oil, herbs, garlic, salt, crushed black pepper, and I'm going to be using Sambal Oelek. Now this recipe is also up, and I also wanted to share with you that I love using this bottle opener when I cannot open the cap. This is what I do. You guys should get one. Just added 4 chopped tomatoes. If you have cherry tomatoes, you can use that too. And then I've added half a cup of cheese. You can use cheddar cheese or even a mix of cheddar and mozzarella. And I'm going to let the tomatoes and cheese sit in the olive oil so that it infuses and then it kind of cooks. And just before I'm serving this, I shall be adding a freshly cut kale. Don't put the kale in from too much before you serve it, because then it goes limp. Now this recipe is called a kale salad, and it's one of the first recipes on my page, Ifnatcancook. Forgot to tell you, I have to add about 3 teaspoons of lemon juice. This is going to cook really well without actually cooking. Because I don't have to show you how to make gnocchi, the balsamic chicken, or the kale salad from scratch, I have realized I am multitasking and cooking fast. I'm just preparing the balsamic chicken. I'm just going to take this out. I've sauteed this in literally 2 minutes. Chicken cooks really fast, but if you want it to remain juicy and tender, whenever you marinate your chicken or season it with salt, pepper, paprika, herbs, add a little bit of corn flour or regular flour, and then you see how that works for you. So I added some garlic and red chili flakes, and then I added this chicken back. Give it a nice coating. Add some tomatoes, rocket leaves, give it another stir. Next up is adding some cream, balsamic sauce. That combination look to you? It looks great to me. You can add a chicken stock cube at this point and loosen the consistency of this by adding a little bit of water. That's it. You cover and cook this for a bit. And this dish is ready. I'm going to move on to the next dish now. I still have to complete the gnocchi. Okay, let's get our hands dirty with flour, eggs, salt, potatoes. Okay, I've kneaded that and I have to let this rest for 15 minutes. I'm going to cover this with a wet cloth or maybe just cling film. Moving on to the next dish, what I'm going to teach you how to make today is a stuffed capsicum with mince meat and rice. There's about 500 grams of minced beef right there. And I'm going to start off with sauteing 1 sliced onion with bay leaves and a little bit of cinnamon. Saute this till it's translucent. Add 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. and just make sure it doesn't burn before you add in the mince. After sauteing the garlic, I added the minced beef and I added 1 teaspoon of chopped ginger. Sauteing, I've seasoned this with 1 teaspoon salt, half a teaspoon each of dried herbs and red chili flakes, some crackled black pepper, and I'm going to be adding some vegeta, which is basically a vegetable-based food seasoning. It's like a chicken stock. If you don't have it, skip it. Vegeta was given to me by a very dear friend from Croatia. They use it in soups and sauces, and this is something that I had at her house many years ago in Islamabad when they lived here, and very recently in New York. Replace vegeta with chicken stock or beef stock. At this point, raise the fire and saute this to the liquid rice. So basically you're browning the minced beef. That's browning. I just wanted to show you that I have rolled up and cut up the gnocchi and set it aside for boiling. What I did was I took pieces that big and then I kind of rolled it out and roll it out further, and my god, I made a mess, but this is a very messy thing to do. And then cut small sized bites, and what you do is you roll it up in the flour and you throw it there. The reason why you roll it up in the flour so that it doesn't stick. Remember, it's potatoes and flour, so it's sticky. And in the meantime, I put up a pot to boil. As soon as the water is boiled, I shall be making these. The best thing about this gnocchi is that this is a handmade gnocchi, in the sense that they're not all the same size. And remember guys, I'm not a gourmet chef. I am a self-taught home chef, and that's why I keep insisting that if I can make something fun, so can you. Okay, so the mince is nicely browned. I'm going to take out the extra leaves and cinnamon sticks in there, and I'll just add some lemon juice, maybe 2 teaspoons, and check for seasoning. At this point we have to see if the spices and the salt is alright. Now I have 1 bowl of cooked rice that I'm going to add to the mix. Stale rice is the best thing to use in this. Mix this well. It's smelling so good I could just eat it like that. I would call it keeme wale chawal, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stuff these beautifully cored capsicum pieces with the rice and mince. You just have to core it, make sure that you take all the seeds out, stuff it to the brim. There's a lot of rice and mince, so you don't have to go easy on this. Just stuff it. Isn't this beautiful? So all these are stuffed, and the remaining rice and mince I'm going to set aside. I'm going to start the sauce right now. In the same pan, I added some olive oil, 2 tablespoons of garlic, 1 teaspoon of vegeta, or you can use chicken stock. There's half a teaspoon of red chili flakes, some black pepper, and a little bit of sugar. When that is done, I'm going to be putting in 2 cans of these peeled tomatoes. It's going to be a really saucy dish. To cover and cook that, let it simmer for like a good 10 minutes. I'm going to be boiling the water in the meantime for the gnocchi, and the reason you see a lot of that is that salty water. Just keep in mind, when the gnocchi comes up to the surface, that means it's boiled. Strain that, I'd like to pour over a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to add some salt and crackled black pepper to this. Season it and set it aside. For the sauce, I've taken at least 4 tablespoons of butter and I'm browning it a bit, and in this I'm going to be adding a lot of garlic, at least 8 to 10 cloves that are roughly chopped, and add that to this. Roughly chopped in the large pieces. I'm going to be using saffron next. It's an amazing ingredient to use in pasta sauces. If you have it, use it now. It's smelling divine, guys. Next up is a little bit of lemon juice. I'm going to play it by the ear and see how many I need. I've added 3 teaspoons, and now I'm going to be adding some chicken stock to this. Added 3 teaspoons of lemon juice and a chicken stock cube. If you have chicken stock, please go for it. And we're going to add a little bit of water to this. Come to a boil. I'm going to be adding the gnocchi to this. I don't want to leave it too dry, nor do I want too much of liquid. The sauce should just be enough to coat this gnocchi. I cannot even begin to tell you how good this smells. Some Parmesan cheese. My hands are clean, guys, don't worry. Sprinkle that. I'm going to turn off the fire. I'm going to add some dried herbs. And if you have basil, you need to garnish this with either basil or sage or any kind of dried herb, really. Forgot I had chives in the fridge. That is so exciting when you open the fridge and you find a herb. So chives it is, and this is ready to be eaten. Alright, so I lifted the lid. It simmered quite well. I checked for spices. I thought the salt was less. I added some garlic powder, a little bit more sugar, and half a teaspoon of vinegar. So you see the mince that we had left. You can add a little bit of that to the sauce. Not too much. Just to make it a little thick. Now my favorite part, you gently place this very strategically so it doesn't fall. It's so funny how every shape is different. But that's the fun part about cooking. It doesn't have to be perfect. And pour over a little bit of the sauce on top. Oops. I haven't made this in years. So when my husband saw what I was making, he's like, you haven't made this in years. I forgot about it. I'm going to cover this and steam cook it on low heat till the capsicums become a little soft. But not too soft, guys, because we don't want it to crumble and break when you're about to eat it. How pretty is this? Do you agree? This is ready. I'm not going to cook it too much. The colors are really nice and vivid. The red against the green, and I just had a little taste of the sauce. The capsicum has left a little bit of its flavor in the sauce, and that is actually what I like. And this stuffed capsicum with rice and mince is ready. I've made it in a light tomato sauce. I hope you guys like it and you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you make it too. And if you do, send me a picture. Thanks for watching, guys.